Hi everyone, it's Sandy. Thank you for joining me here on my channel, Septeria's Room. I have a one-sheet project for you, and this is a fun multi-pocket flip book, and there is a ton of space here where you can store your journaling cards, note cards, tags, scrap papers. You can make this for any occasion, Christmas theme, Valentine's, Easter, or if you are wanting to swap some journaling cards or note cards with a crafty friend, you can both make one of these and swap over your journaling cards, and then you've each got yourself a multi pocket flip book. And there is no wastage, so when we make this, we are going to use every single piece of paper to add to the flip book as well. So it is a fun project, and I can't wait to show you how to make one of these. So the paper I use for this project, in case you're wanting to know, as well as the paper I'm going to use for the tutorial, is this single-sided 12x12 paper pad by Park Lane. I purchased this here in Australia, in Sydney, in Spotlight. It's very hard for me to source a lot of papers now, and I don't live very close to any craft stores, so this is one of the closest that I can buy. Otherwise, I've got some Australian online scrapbook stores that I could also buy from. But these are lovely papers. The only thing about the Park Lane paper pad that I noticed when I remove the pages from the paper pad, which I'll just show you, when you tear it out of the pad, it doesn't leave a nice clean edge when you tear it, so it's sort of not a nice smooth, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little bit yeah, it's not a nice tear. I'm not sure whether it's the glue that's at the back of the paper pad that it does that, and it creates that sort of rough edge, but it doesn't worry me. I'm still fine with that, but I just thought I'd let you know in case you are in Australia and you wanted to purchase the paper pad. But let me show you what I've got in here, and then I'm going to show you how to make one of these. So what I've got here is I didn't do a lot of embellishing in the cover, just in the front here. So because over here is a side pocket, and I just made my own tags and using scrap papers and then just angle cutting them. I made a lot of the journaling cards and note cards in here and just corner around at the corners. So that's the side pocket here. And then this is, I've shown you this a few times, it's a little tiny vellum pocket with a little tag with an extra coordinating dangle there. So that was a perfect fit in there. Over here is another side pocket. And again, I just cut a paper to fit inside, and then use some scrap papers and folding that in half, corner around on the corners to make a pull tab, and then decorate it with some seam binding and single-sided paper. This would also make a great photo album or storage photo folder, and you can make these and add your photo to the front, so you can make this as a photo mat, and then you can document or date the photo, or you can put two photos on both sides. So this would make a great photo album as well if you wanted to gift some photos. And then it opens up this way to another little tuck pocket here that I made just using an ephemera die cut, and I just glued it down the bottom here to create a little tuck spot for some little ephemera pieces. And I've got 4 here, but you can still tuck a lot more in the bottom here. So I just added that to the front of this pocket just to add some more interest to the page, and just another space for some more smaller pieces. And then at the back here is a side pocket, and I've added some more of my little tags that I made. This is a cut apart from a 12x12, and then I just made some of my own journaling cards. These are 3x4 size, and I just corner around at the corners. Oh, actually, some are 3x4. I just made them. I didn't really have a particular size in mind, because there is a lot of space here that you can make bigger note cards. You can even make them longer and have them peeking at the back up the top there. So there is enough here to make any size you like. So I just made those to tuck in there. The next part, there is a little corner pocket down the bottom here for more tags and journaling cards and some ephemera pieces that I've got. And so there is a pocket there. At the back here is another pocket. I think when I did the I did a story on my YouTube and on my Instagram, I think I forgot to show this extra pocket here, but there is another tuck pocket here at the back. So you've got a pocket here and another one here at the back. Again, some more note cards. And then because it was a little too wide, I just cut a strip of scrap paper and just glue that to the edge here just to decorate this edge. And I think I also done that because when I cut it, it was a little bit frayed. So I just thought I'd just add that on to just give it a smooth edge. So I've done that. And then over here is a side tuck pocket and made another sort of note card with a pull tab. Or you can use this as a photo mat again. And you can fit, I think you can fit quite a few in the back. You can probably fit 3 or 4 of these in there. So you can fit a few more. We go to the next page and I made a belly band here to slide some more. And there is some more note cards here that I also just made myself. And then there is this belly band. So with this part, you can use this piece here as a belly band on this page, or you can move it over to this side and have a side pocket, or you can move this piece, because this is an extra piece that we're going to add on. You can move it to this side and have it as a side tuck pocket that way, or this piece you can place it on the bottom to make a top sort of tuck pocket. So there is some fun ways you can play with this piece. And then on this side, I made a top sort of pocket and some more note cards. And then this is a larger size that I made. So this would be a perfect size for a photo. And this is one of my hidden paper clip that I made, showed you in one of my other videos. And I thought that was a perfect coordinating piece to add to that paper. And this is also from the same paper pad, I think. No, yes, it is. This is also from the same 12 by 12 paper pad as well. This is lovely paper. So that's that, and that's the back. So with the back, it's just white. You can cover that up if you didn't want white. You can even add an envelope and glue an envelope to the back here, so you've got somewhere to add a letter. If you're sending this as a Happy Mail swap, you can just use this and write your message there. So that is how it looks like. So there is a lot of pocket spaces here. So I'm going to show you now how to make one. You just want to grab your 12 by 12 paper. You can use double-sided paper, so that's also would be fun to use. I would probably use paper that is a pattern that doesn't go in any certain way, because there is sort of folding all different ways. So some of the pattern might be upside down if it's going one particular way. But if you're okay with that, that's fine as well. And so what I've got here is a single-sided 12 by 12 paper. And what we want to do is we just want to cut. I'm going to go this way, I think. I'm going to line it up on the 10.5 inch. We want to cut it down to 10.5 inches all the way down. So then you've got this piece, which is at 1.5 inches. We're going to put that to the side for now. We're going to work with this piece to create the pocket folder first. And we're going to need your scoreboard. And we're going to have the pattern facing up for this project. So we have your paper lined up at the 10.5 inch. And we are going to score at 5.25 inches. So 5.25 of an inch all the way down. And then we're going to turn this around on the 12-inch side, and we're going to score it at 4 and 8 inches. So every 4 inches. So we're going to go 4 inches all the way down and 8 inches all the way down. And that's it for the scoring for this project. Now, I hope you can see my score line. So what we want to do is we want to cut along this score line and stop at that first score line going that way. And then we also want to make a cut on the top score line here and cut across and stop at the score line in the middle here as well. So let's start with this one first. We're going to cut at that score line and go all the way up to that first score line. Okay, done that. And what we want to do now is let's just cut a little bit off on the right side, just hit about 1/8 of an inch. Just we'll start off with that first. So just cut that. Not too much, 1/8 of an inch, just a little bit, just about that much. And then we'll see how we go with that for now. Just try and get the rest of that off. Okay, sorry, just for that. So we've got that, and then we're going to go up to that first score line, and we're going to cut across and stop in that score line. So I've done that. I'll just show you how it looks like. So there's that cut we made down there with that extra piece that we need to cut out, and then we've got that piece there. And what we're going to do next is we're going to, this piece here at the bottom, we're going to bring this up at that score line. I always keep forgetting to bring my bone folder, but really press it down really good. Press it down. And then, once you've got that piece folded up, we are going to bring these two pieces and we're going to fold them back along that score line. So folding that back. So now when you look, you've got that piece there. So that's folded back. We're going to bring this piece and fold that back. And I'm just going to fold that back on that score line. Press that down. So I'm just going to trim off that little piece there just so it's easy for me to fold. Okay. So, stop there. So that was like that. That gets put back and that gets to the back. And then we've got this piece. We are going to bring this whole piece to the front. That's why we trim this little extra piece off. So when we fold this piece to the front, it doesn't catch onto this edge. So now we can fold that over. If you find that it's catching still, just trim off a little bit more again if you're finding that this piece is sort of catching onto this edge. And then we're going to fold that way. And what we want to do next, that score line here, we're going to cut about 1 inch or 1.25 inches in. So we're just going to cut. Can go this way, so you just want to cut that across about 1 inch to about 1.25 inches. So I'm just gonna, you can make a mark if you want to get the exact measurement, but all we want to do is just sort of cut about that much. So and I'll show you why, and then you can maybe decide if you want to cut a little bit more in, you can do that. So what we'll do is we're going to fold this up now. And then you've got that cut. We're going to bring that piece that we made, that little cut there, we're going to bring that to the front, and that is that's this part here, so you can see. So before you fold it, if you want your piece to go further over, just cut a little bit more if you wanted to do that. But I think 1 inch to 1¼ inches is enough to be able to give you that side pocket and then this tuck pocket. So let me just show you how it looks before we adhere everything. So you're going to have a side pocket here, and that's going to get glued down here. We're going to glue that and glue up here to give you this pocket, and then this side. And then you should be able to then turn it this way. You're going to have a blank space here. And this is a part we'll play with in a minute. Then you've got this piece here, which is going to be this piece. So what we're going to do here, this piece here, we're going to cut this at an angle, and that's going to be that part there. So you can use your paper trimmer, and I just sort of cut mine about from here, which is just below halfway, and you want to cut about halfway from edge to edge, so you can even go halfway. So you want to cut that up to there, and then there is this part that sort of opens up like that. You're going to grab your circle punch, and you're going to punch a notch on this side like I've got here. So I'm going to do that first. I'll do the notch first. So I've just got my circle punch, and I'm just going to go in and do that just so I don't forget. And then I'm just going to use my scissors. I won't use my trimmer. I'm just going to go just a little bit past halfway and go halfway there. Try and do it as straight as I can. Okay, now if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can do that. And then that piece is going to go on that side there. And that's the piece there. And then you can add a piece of scrap paper here to decorate the white part if you wanted to. So now we've got that. This is actually the only little wasted piece that gets wasted. So I'm going to just put that to the side first. And then we're going to then glue down here and across, and that will give us that side pocket. And then we will glue up here to give us this pocket, and then we'll glue that little extra piece. And then we're going to go to the back. That gives us these 2 blank spaces that you can play around with. This part will do last because that will be this strip here that we're using. So let's adhere everything now so we can have everything glued in place. So let's start with this part, and you can even create a little notch here if you wanted to do a notch, but I just decorated mine with some strips of papers and banner strips. I'm going to glue up the top and the bottom. That will give us that side front pocket. And I'll just flip this way, and I'm going to glue there, there and across. And that will give us the other side pocket. All down. Now that should, once that's glued in place, that will be, oops, that's 1 and 2. Okay, that part's done. Let's move over to the next page. We'll come on to this side shortly. We can now add glue just to here. Oops. And now we can adhere that. And now we've got ourselves that pocket all done. I'm going to lift this up and we're going to glue all the way down here and across. And that will give us that side pocket. And then once that's glued down, we should have these two blank pages, and then that's the back. So what we'll do now is add these extra little pieces. We can start with this. This piece, you can have it there. You can even have it that way if you wanted to do that, and then just trim off that little extra piece off, and so you can have it on that side. But I'll put it on this side. Okay, so we've got that glued in place. So that completes the main part of the folder. So now we have this piece. We are going to make two cuts. The first piece we're going to do is cut it at 4 inches. So let's cut that down to 4 inches. And that's going to be the part for the belly band. Now the next piece, we want to cut this a little bit less than 5 1/4 of an inch. Just a little bit less, and I'll show you what I mean. So it's to come over here for that pocket here. This is 5 1/4 inches, but we want to make a little bit less so that it doesn't catch on to the fold part. So I'm just going to go a little bit less than that. Just a tiny bit for now, and then you can trim up a little bit more if you need to. So then you have these two pieces. Put that one to the side for now. Let's work on the longer pieces first. So I'm going to come back to the, so we've got the blank. So we have this piece. This is the piece that I've made for the belly band. You can put it on this side. You can put it down here. You can put it on this side. So you can decide where you like to put that. You can even move it and do it on this side. So these two pieces are used to wherever you would like to put it. But I'll do it the same as I've got my other one. So I'm going to put it there. Glue the top and bottom. And I'm just going to place it in the center as best I can. And that's it for that part. And then you can embellish it and add some hearts, stack some heart punch shapes and stack them there, some butterflies, whatever you like to do there. You can add some trim along the edge here, or you could even use a border edge die and use your cutting machine and then give a decorative edge. And then this is the piece that we just trimmed off or cut a little bit less than 5 1/4. So you want to place that edge beside that fold so it doesn't catch. And then whatever overhangs here, you just trim that off. So I'm just going to now, I'm going to create another half punch in the center. And then I'm just going to glue down the 3 sides, and that gives me the pocket that I need. So these are tiny pieces of wastage. So, but not much at all. So now we have ourselves that pocket there. And now we've got this little extra piece. I'm going to go to the front part. And that's this little pocket there. And all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to angle cut just a little bit, just to make it decorative. You don't have to do it like that, but I just thought that was fun to give it that angle cut. And I'm going to place that there. You can also do that and put on this side if you want. You could go this way. You can go that way. Whatever you like. I'll put it there. And that's glued to these two sides. There's a tuck pocket there. And then you can add another little piece like I have here to the front here. You can add a little paper scrap and just cut another little square piece and glue the three sides, so you've got a tuck pocket that way. So that's just another fun little extra idea for you. And that's all there was to the making of this multi-pocket flip book. 1, 2, pocket there, pocket there, pocket there, pocket there, and a belly band there, and another pocket there. Amazing, isn't it? With 1 12 by 12 paper, and you can make one of these and lots of space, and you can make it as chunky as you like. So I hope you had fun watching this tutorial, and I hope you also have a go at making one of these. You can make a bunch of these and have them ready for whenever you need to use them. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all soon in my next video. Bye for now.